Hey everyone, it's me, Katie-Beth again. And I thought today we'd get into some more crafting once again. I'm wearing my new Oktoberfest dirndl. I have the hardest time saying words, but new Oktoberfest dress that I made for this weekend. I'm going to be selling snow cones at the Long Beach Fair Trade Parkview craft fair that they have every second Saturday. So this will be my snow cone selling outfit. Kind of cute and summery, kind of zombie, pin-up zombie girl. I might put another zombie on the apron, I'm not sure. But for the craft today, I went to the $1.25 tree and I saw some really cute Halloween fabric. I went to check out what Halloween stuff they had. I got this fabric and I thought today we could make tote bags. So I'm not actually sure how big these quarters will be. Let me grab some scissors. I assume they'll be similar to quarters at like Joann's Fabric, but not sure. 18 by 21, 100% cotton, which is awesome. Super cute. Eek. Okay, so let's see, how big can I make this? So it's not going to make the biggest bags ever. If it's folded in half and probably cut down this much, maybe this much to make a strap. Here's the kitty one. This is really cute. It's so hot here. It's 82 degrees in this studio room right now and about 95 outside. So I don't enjoy California in the summer. I thought this one was just webs, but it's webs and spideys. And this one is sugar skulls. Whew! It's getting sweaty in here. And here's this one. These are kind of the perfect size if we were still making masks. Going right into it, we're starting with ironing. Gotta get all those wrinkles out to use the fabric. And then I put the two sides of the fabric together because that's how I initially thought I was going to be sewing it. But I also wanted to trim it down. And I thought I was going to eyeball it at first, but then I remembered how much I suck at that. So I actually got some tools out to help me. So this is a tailor's chalk I got at the 99-cent store. And it actually was 99 cents, so that's cool. And I didn't feel like looking for my fabric ruler, so I just used a piece of cardboard. And I wanted to make it a complete square, so I folded it in half so I could get the square measurement. And voila, a square. So now we just need to flip over two edges, so iron that down. And then do the same thing with the other two pieces of fabric. And because it's from the dollar store, I'm not too mad that they're not exactly the same size. I'm also not big on super measuring, so I'm just gonna kind of cut around the piece that I already cut. So it's at this point that I've realized I'm still going to need lining, whereas I thought I could use two pieces of fabric and make one bag. I don't want the bag to be unlined, so basically all four pieces of fabric are going to make one reversible bag. So here we go, the two pieces of fabric that you want to become one, put them together and then sew them together, and nice sides facing in. And then I trim off the extra edges so it doesn't make the sides thicker for no reason. And I wasn't sure how I wanted to fold the seams, but I'm sewing it the other way anyways. So I just flip it around. And then to get the corners out, it's easiest if you use a stick of some sort to stick through there. I'm using my Apple pencil, but you can use a screwdriver or whatever stick thing. Just don't use scissors, because scissors will cut a hole. So after you have it turned around and your edges out, go ahead and sew it together because now it's just one piece of fabric. And then do that with the other side too. And then don't forget to iron it out again to get your edges nice and flat. And then I decided I wanted to put pockets on it. So I used my extra fabric, roll over one side. So you basically do the same thing that you just did with the rest of the bag, but with little pocket sizes. And you're gonna sew around the edges. So now you just flip it over just like you did the bag. And again, I'm gonna use my Apple pencil to poke the edges out. And don't forget to iron it down, just so it's nice and crisp and flat. And here's what the pockets look like before I sew them on the bag. So here's just practicing out what the pockets will look like on the fabric. I decided to do alternating colors. So this one I did actually sew down one side, and the seams aren't gonna be perfect, I realize, but it's a tote bag, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sew this one on. Okay, so here's what it looks like with two pockets sewn on. You can see on the edge here, the seam's not perfect. And then on the other side, you can see where I kind of sewed the taller one on since I didn't make the pockets all the same size. But it's a cute little tote bag, not gonna be a huge deal. And then you just do the same thing with the other sides, or the other colors. And then once you have that done, go ahead and just sew your tote bag together. Because it's so thick on the seams, I have a little trick I use where I don't start at the edge, because when you do that, it's just gonna get the needle stuck in there. So I start it more towards the center, past the edge bump, and just start sewing straight, and then go back over towards the top, and then back down again, and it kind of gives it that little extra it needs to get over the thickness of the edge of the bag. And I didn't really like the way the seam looked here, so then I took some dollar store ribbon, also from the Dollar Tree, and I started off with just burning the edge just so it wouldn't fray. It's my favorite thing to do with the ribbon. And then I'm just gonna use it as bias tape on the side to try and cover the weird edge. And at first I tried using sewing pins, but it made it really bumpy and not easy to sew. Like, it won't be easy or even to sew this way. So I didn't know what to do. And then I remembered people use little pins. So my roommate had a bunch of little clothespins, and I was able to use those to help keep the ribbon down. So sometimes being resourceful is something you have to do. And it wasn't perfect, but it actually worked out pretty well. And I did decide that I needed to change thread to go with the black ribbon. And at some points I felt like the seam I sewed on was bad enough that I needed to take it off and redo it. And it's not perfect, but I decided good enough. So now the last step, we just need the strap. So I'm taking two of the scrap pieces and sewing them together. But I felt like when you pulled on them, it might put too much stress, so I decided to strengthen that with some of the ribbon. And now here I had two options. I could sew it inside out, like a little tube, and then pull it back through to be the nice way, or I could just hem the edges and then fold them over. And that seemed a lot easier than doing the whole tube thing, so that's what I did. So the edges were hemmed, and then I just hemmed it together, basically. Just folded it over. And now I need to strengthen the edges so they'll hold up better. So I just fold them over and make some strength stitches, which is basically just like that X you see on purses. And here it is before I sew them on. And I wasn't quite sure where to sew them on because I did such a weird seam thing there. But I decided this was good enough, and here's what they look like done. Okay, so I don't know if you're ready for this yet, but this is what I came up with. This is one side of it, and these pockets are all functional. This is the side with the rimming on it, the rim. Let me flip it over to the other side. This is probably the side that looks finished better. The strap is a bit long, kind of more like a long messenger bag kind of tote. If I were going to make it smaller, I'd probably do this on each side. Just kind of take them in if you want it to be a shorter bag. But for now, I'm just leaving it as a long. So I thought this would take a lot less time. I thought it was just going to be zoom, zoom, zoom. Pretty much like 4 easy corners, just sew up and be done. It took a lot longer because I did want it to be lined. And I ended up using all 4 of those quarters just to make one bag. So being that they're from the $1.25 tree, it's like $5 for the bag. Just the cost of fabric, not counting like a sewing machine and thread and the ribbon that I use. But the ribbon was also from the Dollar Tree. I think back when it was the Dollar Tree still. And here you go. Here's how you make a quick tote. It was almost 4 hours. And I was also looking for things to give away in next week's book club. Or later this week on Thursday, we're going to try doing a practice live session and book club announcement for this month. And I think this is one of the prizes that the book club winner will win. So tune in Thursday evening-ish is when we're going to try to go live. Don't know if it'll work exactly. But by the end of this week, there'll be a book club announcement, and this will be one of the things you can win in it. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for joining me this week for this craft fun-friendly... Basically, thanks for joining me today for this craft. Again, book club later this week, and hopefully an adventure video scheduled for Sunday. And Saturday, if you're in the Long Beach area, I'll also be serving snow cones at the Long Beach Fair Trade and Parkview area where we have the craft fair every second Saturday. I'll also be selling some of my Oktoberfest dresses. I don't have a lot of new ones, but I'll kind of have a little section for that. Again, thanks for joining me, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.